The NFL is widely known for its full contact status, with most of its highlights coming from players tackling each other at near breakneck speeds. But you wouldn't be surprised to know just how much of the game relies on a strong defense as well. After all, we do need someone to get on the tackle end. So today, let's take a look at some of the best NFL defensive players of all time. Starting off with Deion Sanders. Prime Time has played in the NFL for 14 seasons with multiple teams such as the Atlanta Falcons, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys, and Baltimore Ravens. And just like Michael Jordan, Sanders also spent some time as a baseball outfielder in the MLB with the New York Yankees, Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds, and San Francisco Giants for 9 seasons. He's also won 2 separate Super Bowl titles, as well as making 1 World Series appearance back in 1992, making him the only athlete ever to play in a Super Bowl match and a World Series championship. Sanders began playing college football at Florida State University, where he also won the Jim Thorpe Award during his time as a senior. He was 5th overall select by the Falcons during the 1989 NFL Draft and played primarily as a cornerback, while also making temporary appearances as a kick returner, punt returner, and even a wide receiver at one point. He got inducted into both the Pro Football Hall of Fame as well as the College Football Hall of Fame back in 2011. Next up we have Ed Reed. The former safety started off playing college football for the Miami Hurricanes, where he was twice named a consensus All-American. Reed spent most of his professional career with the Baltimore Ravens after being drafted by them in the first round of the 2002 NFL Draft, playing 11 seasons before shifting over to the Houston Texans and New York Jets later in 2013. Over the course of his career, Reed has been selected to 9 total Pro Bowls, was crowned the 2004 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award, and also has a record for the 2 longest interception returns. He's considered one of the greatest safeties in the history of the NFL, often referred to as a ball hawk during his prime, getting inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame back in 2019. Then we have Roderick Kevin Woodson. The defensive back got drafted during the 1987 NFL Draft by the Steelers and also played his first 10 years there, being a key member of the Ravens Super Bowl XXXV championship team. Widely considered to be one of the greatest defensive players of all time, Woodson holds the record for the most fumble recoveries by a defensive player, as well as interceptions returned for touchdowns, even being named the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year back in 1993, getting inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame back in 2016. Following up, there's Charles Edward Green. Charles Edward Green, better known as Mean Joe Green, is an American former professional football player who was a defensive tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers of the National Football League from 1969 to 1981. A recipient of 2 NFL Defensive Player of the Year awards, 5 first-team All-Pro selections, and 10 Pro Bowl appearances. Green is widely considered to be one of the greatest defensive linemen to play in the NFL. He was noted for his leadership, fierce competitiveness, and intimidating style of play, for which he earned his nickname. Throughout his career, Green was one of the most dominant defensive players in the NFL, able to overpower opposing offensive linemen with ease and disrupt blocking. Former teammate Andy Russell called Green unquestionably the NFL's best player in the 70s. He's a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and of the College Football Hall of Fame, and his number 75 jersey is one of only 3 retired by the Steelers. Green is also well known for his appearance in the Hey Kid Catch Coca-Cola commercial, which aired during Super Bowl XIV and solidified his reputation as a tough football player who's a nice guy. Also, Deacon Jones. Deacon is referred to as among the best pure pass rushers that have ever played on the field, and honestly, we can't help but agree. His amazing career and achievements really do speak for themselves. Sacks weren't really a stat back when Deacon played, but even just a few minutes of footage of Jones's play style will make it fairly clear that he basically is the person that coined the term. He basically got the NFL to ban the head slap because of how good he was at it. It's been reported that he posted about 173.5 sacks, and that's an even bigger accomplishment when you realize that this was done before there were 16 game-long seasons. Between 1964 and 1968, it's said that he made about 20.5 sacks per season. Hey, if that's not enough to get him mentioned on this list, we don't know what is. Moving on, we have Dick Butkus. Dick essentially defined what the middle linebacker position meant. As a middle linebacker, he was in pretty close competition with the likes of Ray Lewis and Chuck Bednarik for a spot on this list, but ultimately, we just had to go with Dick. Despite having having played for only 9 years, Butkus managed to make a name for himself among the greats. Each of his 9 years in the sport is spoken of in high regard and continues to be remembered by fans even to this day. Butkus was known for going from one sideline to the next while being able to knock his opponents to the ground with ease. He managed to make the Pro Bowl in each of the first 8 seasons, which isn't a small feat by any means, especially when you consider that was back when getting into the NFL's All-Star was something that actually had a bit of weight. Dick's career was eventually wrecked by bad knees, but all of his many accomplishments prior to it definitely make him one of the all-time greats. Not to mention, he's also one of the most underrated players on the list. Coming up next, we have Ronnie Lott. Lott essentially claimed his destiny as one of the all-time great players by being able to make first-time All-Pro as a rookie. Anyone that can accomplish a feat like that is basically going to go down in history as an amazing player. Lott can not only claim to have done that, but lots more. He went to the Pro Bowl in his first 4 seasons while playing as a cornerback. After switching to safety, he spent about 6 years in Honolulu. Oh, and before we get to mention, he managed to claim 4 Super Bowls while with the 49ers. To this day, many consider him to be among the best players when it comes to hard hitters in the NFL's defensive backs. All it really took was one massive collision from Lott to change the fate of any game. And that's really what sets him apart from many other players who've been a part of the NFL. The penultimate entry on our list is Bob Lilly. Bob was easily among the best players in the field when he suited up. It didn't take long after he gained the role of a defensive tackle for him to get named the first team All-Pro, and Bob accomplished this not once but 7 whole times. His amazing streak extends from the year 1964 to 1971. And if that's not enough, he's also remembered for being the player to be a part of the most famous sack in all of Super Bowl history. Many of his teammates thought that he was essentially unblockable. Even his Hall of Fame coach thought that Lilly was easily among the best players that he'd ever seen. He was a massive helping hand for just everyone around him. Tom Landry basically enjoyed the benefits of Lilly's amazing quickness and disruption abilities for all 14 seasons. Bill Welsh also called Lilly the 3rd best footballer that he'd ever seen. Hey, even being in Welsh's top 3 is an amazing feat that no one should go around downplaying. We really don't think we need to say anymore. Not to mention, he was widely regarded as the best defensive player of his generation, and understandably, often considered to be the greatest defensive player of all time. Finally, at the number 1 spot on our list, there's Lawrence Julius Taylor. Widely regarded as one of the greatest linebackers and one of the greatest defensive players of all time, he began playing college football at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and is also widely regarded as one of the greatest college football players ever. After an All-American career at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Taylor was drafted by the Giants as the 2nd overall selection in the 1981 NFL Draft. Although controversy surrounded the selection due to Taylor's contract demands, the two sides quickly resolved the issue. Taylor was named both the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1981 and the only NFL player to win the AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year award in his rookie season. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, Taylor was a disruptive force at outside linebacker and is credited with changing defensive game plans, defensive pass rushing schemes, offensive line blocking schemes, and offensive formations used in the NFL. He also won a record 3 AP NFL Defensive Player of the Year awards, a record now tied by J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald, and was named the league's MVP for his performance during the 1986 season. Taylor is one of only 2 defensive players in the history of the NFL to have ever won the NFL MVP award. No other defensive player has won it since him. He was named first team All-Pro in 8 of his first 10 seasons, and second team All-Pro in the other 2. Taylor was a great member of the Giants defense, nicknamed the Big Blue Wrecking Crew, which led New York to victories in Super Bowls XXI and XXV. That's a wrap for this video. Do you agree with our list? What other player do you believe deserves to be here as well? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.